All right, everyone. So, as you know, everyone is struggling with the rising prices in everything: gas, groceries, everything. So, we're all feeling the effects. So, I'm here to show you 6 ways that helps our tight budget. So, disclaimer, this is what we do. Doesn't mean it'll work for everyone, but it works for us. So, I'm going to go over the 6 things that help our tight budget in 2023. In 2020, when we were forced to go on a tight budget, the first thing we did was cut the cord. We canceled our cable, especially if you're someone that does not watch a lot of TV, or like in summer when you're outside and you don't watch as much TV, it's an unnecessary cost on your budget. So instead of cable, you can stream free movies using services like streaming sticks, like a Roku or a Fire Stick, or you can also connect your laptop computer or a desktop to your TV to use it as a monitor, and you can still watch movies and play YouTube videos and things like that. So example of free streaming channels that play good movies still, as well as bad. So TUBI TV would be our first one that we watch for free movies, or I do at least, and PLUTO TV. I don't watch PLUTO as much, but it's still free, and sometimes they still give good free movies on there. Or you can pay for a service as Hulu or Netflix. And the third one is Friendly TV. So Hulu has a couple different plans. I'm not much for Hulu or Netflix, but I do have Hulu, and that's only because I'm paying $1.99 a month for their basic plan. I got it on a Black Friday sale online last November, so when it's up this November, I'll just cancel it because there's really nothing I watch on Hulu. We don't really watch a lot of Netflix either, so we don't use Netflix. Friendly TV is one that I use during the holidays, actually at the start of fall, all the way through the Christmas season, because you get so many channels on Friendly TV. You get like Hallmark channels, LMN, History, I believe, A&E, other channels that play like old Western shows. Like when I was a kid, my dad loved Western shows, and all those shows play on these channels. So I believe there's at least 40 channels, and you can watch movies on demand that have already played live on these channels. So Friendly TV is one that I use, especially at the start of fall all the way through the Christmas season. If you would like me to show you the streaming channels or the Roku stick or how to connect your computer to your TV, drop it down in the comments and I will do that on another video. The next thing we do is with cell phones and cell phone plans. So we use no contract services. We use TracFone, so it's very cheap for us, and we use the cheapest plan based on our needs. So since we don't go outside the home a whole lot, we don't need like unlimited data or, all that data that you're paying for. So our plan, we get the minimal because we're at home most of the time and we have Wi-Fi here at home. So we don't hardly get any data or talk time or text or anything like that because we just don't use it enough. So we're paying the minimal price for our cell phones, and we don't upgrade our cell phones at all. We've had the same cell phones for at least 4 years, maybe 5, and the screens are cracked. We have tape on them, but the phone still works. And for us, we actually just don't talk on the phone that much. If I'm out and about on errands, I usually just text Glenn, and I don't need data that much outside the home. So we just go minimal. If you're someone who needs a lot of data outside the home, then maybe this isn't for you. But again, like I said, this is what we do to keep our costs down for cell phones and our cell phone plans. I shop all the time because we don't have a contract service. We pay month to month, and I'm even shopping within TracFone for better deals. So our plan costs $15 a month per line, so it's 15 for each of us. And if I see another plan, if we do auto refill, the price goes down, or the same price, but you're getting more data. Now, TracFone's data rolls over to the next month. So if we're not using our data on a regular basis, then we're just collecting more and more data. So if we do need it outside the home, it's there. So we go minimal on our cell phones and our cell phone plans. The next thing we do is limit our gas usage, and this is gas for your vehicle that I'm talking about. And so one of the things I try to do, because I know we live on the north side of town, and I know on Thursdays I'm going to have to run to the south side of town. So what I try to do is, if I have any errands to run that week, if I can hold off until Thursday, and I'll schedule all my errands to run in one day. That way I'm not going out several times a week, and it usually ends up you're here, you're there, and all of a sudden you've used all this gas. Our truck is a gas guzzler, so that is why it's important for us to minimize our gas usage. Another thing we do is we don't go out a lot for recreational purposes, but if we do, if we know we're going to go out for like a country drive or go fishing or go camping, then up to that point we'll minimize to the extreme how much we use our vehicle until that, so that we can save the gas more so for that recreational day. Also, the stores and other places use deals for gas points. So like if you spend a certain amount, your store might have an exchange for gas points. So that's another way to go. And what I do is I actually allot a certain amount from our monthly budget that goes for gas in our truck, and even for gas in our riding lawnmower for cutting grass. Yes, I do budget how much we're going to cut grass a month because it costs in gas, and we need to budget that. So we have a 4 or 5 gallon gas tank for gas for our riding lawnmower. It takes about $15 to fill it up, and that gives me 2 to 3 grass cuts a month. That's enough. Especially if you live in an area where it's cooler, the grass doesn't grow that much or that fast, then that's good because that's less times you have to cut the grass. And that's what I do. I budget even cutting the grass, how many times a month I'm going to cut that grass. The next thing is utilities, your house utilities. So your lights, your heat, your water, whatnot. So the basic thing is we use LED light bulbs. So when we were using the old-fashioned regular light bulbs, we were changing them all the time. They didn't last long at all. Since we went to LED light bulbs, I haven't changed the light bulb in over a year. So LED is well worth it. Another thing is turn off your lights when you're not in the room. If you're using LED light bulbs, it might not make that much of a difference. But if you're using old-fashioned types of lights, like in our kitchen, we have a spiral light, and I'm sure that thing sucks a lot of power. I don't like using it. One, it's really bright. I like a more ambient look, like low lights. So yes, when I'm not in the kitchen, I try to keep that light off. And what I do is I go on our online account for our electric, and I try to look to what it is from a certain part of the month to what it was last time and compare where we're at. And if it's higher, then I have to ask, what did we do different that's making it higher? And in most cases, it's 2 things for the year. One, in the summertime when you use your air conditioner, and even in the summertime, because we don't get a good cross breeze in our house because our picture window in the living room does not open, so our cross breeze is limited. So I was very happy we had a mild summer, but on those days that we have to turn the AC on, then that's going to rev up your power. All right, the other thing is during the holidays, I like Christmas lights. I like to have them on all the time, so that increases our electric bill a little also. But other than that, it's the basics of using the LEDs and turning lights off when you're not in the room, especially when they're not LED lights. So that's what we do. The next one is for food. Eat at home and make your coffee at home. So when we could afford it before prior to 2023, we ate out a lot. At that time I was working a full-time job plus, a little more than full-time hours. I had to keep house, inside and outside work, and basically caregive to Glenn. So at that time I didn't, there were times, yeah, I didn't want to cook. So there are times we ate out quite a bit. And if you don't think you are eating out quite a bit, write it down for the month. And if you're paying with debit, go in your bank account, and that's what I did. I wrote down the entire month that we ate out, and I couldn't believe how much we spent on takeout food. So that's an eye opener. What I do now is I meal plan. And I first started meal planning with a week at a time and then 2 weeks. And now I meal plan for the entire month at one time. And I love it. It keeps us on track for meals. You're not going to get up and say, oh, what are we going to have today? I don't know. Let's just go get something. It's too easy to do that. And I'm not saying we're perfect. We falter from time to time. And especially if we have a day out, the nicest way to end that day is just grab a pizza or something out and end your day that way. But we no longer do what we did do and eating out a lot because we can't afford it, and because your food that you make at home is going to taste a lot better. And the other thing is, a lot of people on the way to work, on the way to here, there, they stop for coffee, especially if you're stopping at Starbucks. How expensive is that getting for you? You can go buy a container of coffee and get 3 or 4 times much out of it. So stop buying your coffee and make it at home before you leave. Glenn used to like McDonald's coffee. We used to stop for it, go get a coffee. We don't do that anymore, because even costing like $1.50 or whatever, put a more couple dollars into it and you can buy a container of coffee. So that's going to get you further than stopping for it every day. So the next one is going to tie into your eat at home. So let's get to the next one. The next one is grocery shop with a purpose. And what I mean by with a purpose is make a grocery list based on your meal plan that you wrote for the week, for the 2 weeks. Even if you do it for a couple days, make your grocery list and stick to it. Try not to buy anything else. If you're hungry for a sweet, put it on the list, but put it in your budget. So if you have a budget, you want to stick to this. What I also do is price compare online and write down my prices on my list before I even go to the store, so I know if I'm under budget or over budget. So we have a budget every week that we try to stick to. So I do this before I even go to the store. The last thing is check your store. They might have digital coupons that you can clip online that will come up in your app, and check their weekly ads. So this ties into writing out a meal plan. Again, just stick to it. This has worked great for me. And in another video, I'm going to show you step by step what I do before I go grocery shopping. I don't grocery shop just going to the store anymore. I need a list in my hand. I need to know how much I'm spending before I even get to the store. So those are all the things we do to help with our very tight budget in 2023. And we're getting better all the time. So when we first started on our tight budget, It was a learning curve because we weren't used to having to be on a tight budget, but I think we're doing well and we're living comfortable. We're not starving. And another thing you can do if you're struggling for food is utilize your local food pantries and also check into food stamps. So if you're in need of those, in my description below, I always have the link to find a food pantry near you. Okay, so stay tuned for another video where I'll show you how exactly I do my meal plan, how I grocery shop, how I write my list down, how I price compare. Usually it's between Pick and Save / Kroger and Walmart. So I will show you that in an upcoming video. But for now, that's going to do it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch it. I truly appreciate all the support. And with that, remember to live life, be good to yourself, and be good to others. Until next time.